yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't get her birth time.
Birth time is 2:13 p.m.
2:13 p.m., and that's April 18th, 1953, correct?
April 18th in El Paso, Texas. The old town.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I've
sorry
been to El
about
Paso. It's a hot city.
Oh, yeah. It's hot. My daddy was in the Air Force. I was born at an Army hospital.
Oh, I see. So you did a lot of traveling then.
Well, I have. I've actually lived in the same place now for 20 years. I was not like an Air Force brat or anything, but I've had a lot of adventures in my life, and I just want to be free, and I want to get to be me, and I want to start over. And
Well, that sounds like a pretty normal thing to want. Many people are in the same boat, and they all seem to want to have that privilege of being, sort of free and unencumbered. You must be at a point in your life where you're feeling as if you have that due to you.
Yes, I do. I'm really excited. I'm really scared. I'm also a bit sad that this part of my life is over, but I am really looking forward to moving on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw you with an Aries sun, obviously, an Aquarius moon, and a Virgo rising.
Yay!
Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
No, I see Cancer moon.
Yeah, so what else? You've got Aquarius moon?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. One of the things that you're going to notice over the next coming year is that you're going to have Saturn coming down over your rising sign. And what that's going to indicate is it can be a little bit difficult because it can indicate a time of enormous change because your ascendant sort of is the clothes you wear and sort of what you project out to the world. And when Saturn comes through your ascendant, Saturn's all about responsibility. You might find yourself doing some pretty laborious, mundane tasks that you really don't want to do, that you have to do. And it may also have you maybe sort of force you to do some, reevaluation of your health and your health issues if you have any, or maybe taking on a new diet or addressing a new way of addressing a new way of approaching your health and your health welfare going forward.
Okay.
Maria, do you have any further insight?
I think I unfortunately have her wrong birth information. I have a Cancer moon showing, so
Okay.
I don't want to waste your time on doing her chart over. But do you have Mercury in Aries at 1 degree?
It's PM.
PM.
Okay.
Perhaps
Chris, do you have a chart that says Mercury in Aries at 1 degree?
No.
I have a chart that says Mercury at 16 degrees.
Okay, I have a completely different chart, so I don't want to waste your time on this. But
well, we can talk to what she's got. So I do think that if she has Virgo rising, she definitely is going to have the issue of Saturn coming down on her ascendant. Now, what do you typically see with Saturn, Maria? What's your take on that?
Saturn coming over the ascendant is a very important time in your life because it does herald a whole new beginning. You've been internalizing all the restrictions that you've had for a long time, and it's almost like you're ready to set yourself free.
Yes,
and
yes.
you do. I'm not sure the degree of your Virgo rising, but we have a new moon in Virgo coming up that could also amplify this new beginning that you have along with the Saturn over your ascendant. So it's interesting how you're redefining the basic structure of who you are, the basic structure of your identity. And so I think that you've done this work. You've done it pretty much when Saturn was in your 12th house going over your ascendant, and now you're ready to show the world what you've worked on. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, that's what you're feeling the sense of. I think this is what you're feeling the sense of wanting to break loose, and you have this sense of wanting to sort of reinvent yourself.
Absolutely.
Either geographically or with regard to relationship or even to what even your demeanor and your physical presence. You may want to change your hairstyle. You may want to shift the way you look. You may want to change any number of things. It's sort of a time to, begin again is really what it is. So Saturn gets a bad rap in astrology oftentimes because people always think of it as being a planet that is unkind or pushes you through hard times. And it can do that, but my view on this has always been that anytime there's stress or hardship in the planet, in the chart rather, it's an opportunity to grow. And anytime you're growing, you're doing something that's a positive. So even though it may be a little bit difficult, it's kind of like, outgrowing your clothes when you're a kid, even though it's difficult maybe to accept it, you do have a chance to reinvent yourself and sort of get on that new costume and become something new, which can be very exciting if you do it with the knowledge ahead of time.
Absolutely, yes. Well, I wonder if you guys can see a good time that I perhaps might sit down with my husband and say, thank you, and I'll be moving on now. I mean, is it closer to right now? Is it closer to the end of the year?
I don't have your chart in front of me, but I know with that new moon in Virgo, it's a new beginning for you personally, and it will certainly affect your relationships because the first and seventh house is a relationship axis. And it's typically a time of new beginnings. New beginnings can mean the ending of a relationship if it's for your highest good.
Mm-hmm. Other things you could look at is you want to see where Uranus is in your chart because that could indicate a sudden change. You know, there's always that ability to change, and Uranus right now is opposing. It's at 21 degrees Pisces, and it's opposing your ascendant. So it's also bodes well with regard to sort of reevaluating your relationships.
Okay, that's awesome.
So you know, timing is everything, and it does help to be forewarned and to be forearmed with regard to how you make decisions. You know, you don't want to live your life totally with regard to astrology. It certainly does help you make important decisions and brings to light, you know, the ability to foresee a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wanna. I guess the Virgo in me, I want to do it right. I want to do it. I want to do it right. I want to do it perfect. I know that I'm not going to be able to do everything right, and it's certainly not going to be perfect. It's going to be actually quite devastating to my family. But I think in the end, everybody will be all right.
I'm sure people will be all right. You know, these things do happen. It's very common. I think what you want to do is really ask yourself long, hard questions. And I suspect maybe you have over a course of many years, long, hard questions about whether the risk is worth it or is it worthwhile to sort of, you know, try to repair things and slug it out.
Well, I think I've been with my husband since I was 15 years old, so I definitely have been here for the long haul. So I'm pretty sure I'm done. I'm not pretty sure. I am sure I'm done.
Yeah. Well, only you know that. So the best thing to do is to contact myself and Maria offline and get a real professional reading where you get a lot more detail with regard to what you can do. It's difficult for us in this sort of a forum to get into much detail because of the fact that it just requires a lot more research. And there's many, many angles in astrology and many, many things to consider, as Maria will attest. And it's just difficult to do that. But I suggest if you contact... Now, Maria has a wonderful website. Maria, what's your website?
It's www.insightfulastrology.com.
Insightfulastrology.com. And you can contact... You have a direct link to your email there, so anybody who wants to get a hold of Maria can do that there. And mine is www.chrisflisher.com. So I hope that helped you a little bit, Gigi. You know, it's going to be a tough haul, but you never know what you're going to come up against. And it's always wise to be forearmed so that you can be forewarned so that you can be forearmed.
Absolutely. Anything worth going through is worth going through, and I'm okay with that.
Point. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. You guys take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So, Maria, I want to get back to the topic of the solar return because this is something that you are especially well known for. Yeah. And some of the other questions I have, so like you find once you've discovered where the initial return of the sun is the exact degree, you look at the house, and then what are the other significant indicators that you look for? You said you look for the ascendant, which would indicate sort of the way the person is presenting themselves. Also, the midheaven would indicate where they were with regard to career, right, I suspect?
Right, and you're going to look at the ascendant, whatever sign the ascendant is in, you want to look back to that natal chart and compare where that ascendant falls in your natal chart.
I see.
Almost
compare
like
that.
Doing a synastry reading with yourself.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so you look and you see what are you most focused on. It's your whole personality, your projection, and you do that, and it just flows. You go on and on. I would love to, with the next caller, possibly pull up that person's solar return chart just to illustrate a little bit of it. I apologize for not getting the other caller's birth information right.
Right. Right. Well, why don't you pull up mine for that while we're talking here, and you can work at that on the side. If you want to write it down, we can always talk about it. My birthday is 4/1/52. I'm an old timer. 4/1, April 1st, 1952. I know I've heard all the jokes about being an April Fool, so spare me. And then my birth time is 4:31 p.m.
Okay.
And that's in Meriden, Connecticut. Meriden, Connecticut.
Okay.
So you can work that up, and then in the meantime, we'll continue to take calls if we get any, or we continue to talk about the subject.
Where was your last solar return, Chris?
My last solar return was in 2007.
What city and state were you in? Where were you?
I live outside of Boston, so you can use Boston as the
the location.
location.
As the location for your solar return.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're talking about today is the solar return. The solar return, and my guest is Maria DeSimone. Her website is insightfulastrology.com.